1 month ago yesterday, my husband came home from a strange bicycling accident and opened the door, unlocked it himself, told me, stay calm, do not freak out, take me to the University of Toledo Medical Center immediately. And I said, oh my gosh, did you fall off your bicycle? He said, I don't know, just take me to the University of Toledo Medical Center now. I said, okay. So we came here. I was frantic, of course, but my husband is very, very even-keeled, and he really needed me to be calm. When we first arrived at the University of Toledo Medical Center, I drove up to the quickest spot I could see in front of the emergency sign and went around the door, opened the door. My husband's laying there sitting there with a bloody towel up to his head, and I'm wondering, how am I going to get him in? And right at that point, three people, someone was coming out, someone was coming to the right, someone I think was in fact in front of us, said, how can I help you? What can I do for you? And it was so wonderful. I felt such compassion at that moment and a lot of respect that they could see the situation and what we needed. So they went in, someone went in and came out with a medical professional. I don't really remember who, but it was somebody with a wheelchair. And then they said, oh, we need a stretcher. He went back in, brought out the stretcher, and then very kindly and gently took a gold chain off of Bob's neck, gave it to me, and replaced that with a neck brace. And just the compassion that I was feeling there was wonderful. The pain that my husband was in, I have no clue. And the communication between all of us was wonderful. They were asking me what happened. Unfortunately, I didn't know, other than he was riding his bicycle and came home with a bloody head. Actually, not head, just face, his whole entire face. So at that point, then we went inside, and they said, we'll take care of him from here. And I went over with my insurance papers and talked to the person at the desk, who was very kind and compassionate. And then a young resident came out, and I think her name was Rachel, and she was very, very kind and compassionate, and said that they would take care of him, do all they could for him, and it would take probably about 40 minutes while they ran some tests on him. That gave me time to call my family and get some prayer support going, and it seems like shortly after that is then when they brought him out and put him in another room, where then they said we could come and talk to him. And that was really frightening, because they asked me, do you know if he had breakfast today? And it was kind of a joke, because I told him what he had for breakfast, and they said, we don't need to know what he had for breakfast, it's just he can't remember. He can't remember anything. And so that was really scary. And there again, everyone was very kind, compassionate, respectful of our feelings, and the fact that, you know, you don't go through something like this on a regular basis, and you really want people that are respectful of you, compassionate, but that really know what they're doing. And I felt like everyone really knew what they were doing at the University of Toledo Medical Center. Throughout Bob's stay here, they ended up admitting him that night about 11 o'clock at night, and everyone again was so kind and compassionate. And I can't remember any of the nurses' names. I wish I could, because there was 4 or 5 nurses that were very, very sweet to him. One especially would, well, they all would ask, and it kind of got to be a joke, what is your pain level at? If it was 1 being lowest, 10 being highest, where are you at? And his answer was always 5. And they'd say, you know what, you can go ahead and say you got more pain, but, and that's why I feel that rating the University of Toledo Medical Center, I would give it a 10 out of a positive experience all the way through. But I would like to share that I like the fact that all the professionals that would come in would share with me what was going on besides Bob, because obviously Bob wasn't in the best of mind right then. And one of the nurses in particular said, I'm going to give you these papers because when you leave, you are going to have a whole packet of papers to take home, and it can be very confusing. And I'm glad she communicated with me that way because I can get confused very easily. So she gave me a piece of paper, and it had instructions that said he must get his stitches out the following Wednesday. This was Sunday at this time. So on Wednesday morning, Bob had been discharged Monday evening. So on Wednesday morning, I called to make the appointment, and I was told that there was no one there and we would have to wait till Monday. So I said, okay, got off the phone, and my husband said, wait a minute, they told me I have to have them out. You need to communicate this. You need to get this across. So I called back and I said, you know what, I need to, first of all, we're not used to an experience like this, so bear with me here, but all I know is what they told us in the hospital. We have to come in on Wednesday and get this taken care of. And the girl said, well, okay, let me call up there and help. Let me help you. Which I said, thank you so much for your compassion, because I don't, what am I doing here? And so she arranged something, and the next thing I knew, we had an appointment set. So I called her back and I said, are you who I just talked to about making an appointment with my husband? She said, yes. I said, well, what is your name? And she said, my name's Michelle. And I said, Michelle, what is your position there? And she said, oh, I'm just the operator. And I said, just the operator? You are part of a team at that hospital, at the University of Toledo Medical Center, which you have done a wonderful thing for us here, because if it wasn't for you, possibly we wouldn't have gotten those stitches out till Monday. So I really appreciate what you've done. And the excellence that we experienced was fantastic. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being excellence, I would give it 10 plus the experience we had at the University of Toledo Medical Center.